Howdy folks, if you see, we are going to be doing a review of The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia. It's a Zelda book. I'm not going to really say much more about it. It's quite fascinating, I must say. I got this for Christmas. Thank you, Engine, very much. The one thing I like about it, besides the fact it gives you a Zelda storyline, there's a lot of background story. A good quarter of the a fourth of the book is about Skyward Sword. Basically, when this was written, it was the latest game to be out. And as of now, as everybody knows, there's a Link Between Worlds on the Nintendo 3DS and 2DS. But this takes care of every game that's been released, at least for the North America. You know, like Zelda. On the Nintendo, you have Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Then, if you want to count the Game Boy before the Super Nintendo, you have Zelda Link's Awakening and / Zelda Link's Awakening DX. There's differences between the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color version. Basically, the Game Boy Color version, obviously, the obvious is color, and there's an extra dungeon where you can change your tunic from red to blue, blue to red, vice versa. Then you jump up to the Super Nintendo. It's got A Link to the Past, which is one of the best games on the Super Nintendo collection. Then you have the Game Boy Color, where you have not only Link's Awakening DX, but you also have the Oracle of Ages and Seasons. And a nice fun fact about this is if you beat Oracle of Ages, then you go and beat Oracle of Seasons. The gameplay intertwines where you can actually get like the final boss and complete the entire game. Pretty cool like that. Then we're jumping up to the N64, yes, where it has probably one of the best games of all time, Ocarina of Time, and then the most it's not really a Zelda theme, I guess is what you'd say, but it's Majora's Mask. It's actually quite a fun game. I beat it a couple times, but I'm gonna be playing it again here soon just for the challenge because it is quite a bit of fun. Then we can either jump up to the Game Boy Advance or the GameCube. Either one, we'll go with the Game Boy Advance. We have Link to the Past / Four Swords. Four Swords is, of course, the kind of like a newer one. If you had 4 Game Boy Advances, you could do link cables, which a lot of kids nowadays will never experience the fun of having to link cable 4 Game Boy Advances together. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Most I've ever done, I think, was 2. It was me and somebody else, Rob. Whatever, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I don't care if you know who you are. Then we had the Minish Cap, which was okay. It wasn't bad. It was the return of Vadi. So, alright. Then we had the GameCube, and there was a few of them. Start off with one of my favorite Zelda games of all time, still, is... Can you guess it? Okay. Wind Waker. Wind Waker. I actually enjoyed that game quite a bit. I have the remake, but that'll be coming up soon. There's Twilight Princess and the Ocarina of Time Master Quest. That would be the third one. And Twilight Princess. Okay. Now we're jumping up to the Wii. There was Twilight Princess, but that was originally just going to be released on the Wii, but then it was released on the GameCube as well. So, then latest and greatest right now, at least according to the book, is Skyward Sword. But we're going to go past the book right now on the Wii U. It is the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. It's redone in HD graphics, and then on the 3DS, of course, Link Between Worlds. And I missed the 2 on the Nintendo DS, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. Didn't really care for the 2 on the DS. I didn't like how you had to had to use the stylus to make a line across on the touchscreen just so you could attack. I didn't really care for that. If you did, I'm glad, but just for me, it was not what I was expecting. Alright, so, like I said, most of the good quarter of the book takes a lot of information on Skyward Sword. A lot of concept art. They kind of had Link looking like something else. They had Zelda looking like something else. They had Fi as something else. It's a lot of interesting stuff in this book. If you don't have it and you're a Zelda fan, go get it. You will not be disappointed. It brings clarity a little bit to if you ever wondered how the games go in order. Because I know I did for a little while. Then I was reading something on one of the boards I follow online, and there's all these theories. Look it up on YouTube. It's a theory during Majora's Mask that Link might be dead. I watched it. I was alright. I wasn't really convinced, but it's a nice change of pace just to see. So, one of my favorite pages in the book, though, that I've made sure to mark down, it is, I might even show you this just because I like you. Alright, bear with me for a second. Hi. It is The Legend of Zelda, the chronology of the history of time, your Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, blah blah blah. The nice thing I like is if you look over here, there's a break off in the chain. The hero is defeated. Then you have these games where the hero is triumphant. You have this, and there's a whole nother concept there. What I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to talk to you about these. And it's actually quite interesting the way they have the games going in order. I wouldn't have ever really thought of it. Alright. Here we go. The creation. The creation of land and sky. It's Skyward Sword. Basically, it's you'd have if you watch the game, or if you've played the game, they'll in the intro of the game when you start, it tells you about the great battle that happened on Earth and how the goddess basically took a chunk of Earth and sent it up to the sky, which is where you get the Earth and the sky. Keep going, blah blah blah. The next game would be the Minish Cap, the Rise of Evil Vadi, which is the main villain in Minish Cap. Next is the Four Swords. It's the Resurrection of Vadi. You beat him in the Minish Cap, then he comes back. Blah blah blah. Okay, he's back. You beat him again. Good job. And here we go with the Hero of Time. It is Ocarina of Time. Everybody's had to play it at least once, I think. One person I know somewhere out there hasn't played it. Get your ass on the game now. Now. Okay. If you've seen it, it's interesting what happens. After the Ocarina of Time, it breaks off into two sections. Like if you saw it, the hero is defeated. So basically, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Hero is defeated, and Ganondorf, Vadi, whoever is triumphant. And these games take part of it, because basically it's the decline of Hyrule and the last hero. So the last hero is basically just about to die or is already dead. Blah blah blah. Okay. And these games we're gonna go with the hero is defeated, and then once we're done, I'll go back to the hero is triumphant. Hero is defeated. It goes A Link to the Past, means Ganon. It's the resurrection of Ganon. He's back. He's taking charge. Link to the Past, interesting thing is you get the 3 medallions. The third one, you go to the Dark World, unless if you have the... Name that item. Okay, if you know it, good. If not, I will tell you later. Basically need this item to stay your true form and the Dark World. That's the only hint I'm giving you. But after you get the 3 medallions, you basically get transformed into the Dark World, where you have to find the 6 maidens, find Ganon, defeat him. That's how you'll rescue Zelda, and the rest is history. Next game after that are the Oracle of Ages and Seasons. It's the resurrection of Ganon again. Well, not again, sorry. It's the resurrection of Ganon for the first time. Alright? Then after that, it's the Link's Awakening, where he's done with all the stuff with the ages and seasons, and there he goes. The next one, it's the Era of Decline, so more or less, it's the Resurrection of Ganon. It's basically, it's kind of called the Tragedy of Princess Zelda. It's the Legend of Zelda, the first one. It's the Resurrection of Ganon. Then the Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. It is the Resurrection of Ganon is prevented, so he doesn't come back, which is what we need. We don't need the world to have another Ganon, and then this is a whole bunch of hoopla. Hoopla! Alright. Now we're going to go back to Hero is triumphant. Yay! Woo! You did it! Twilight Realm and the Legacy of the Hero. Here we go. Starts off with Majora's Mask. Basically, the little note below it says that Matt Damon's here. He's going to be doing a scene from Good Will Hunting. Thank you for sticking around for that. The demon thief Ganondorf is executed. When I've ever seen it. Okay. Next, we have Twilight Princess, the Shadow Invasion. Not a terrible game. Had a pretty good storyline. I enjoyed it. Wasn't bad at all. It's pretty fun if you've never played it. And last but not least on that, we have the Four Swords Adventures, the Resurrection of Ganondorf, and the Resurrection of Vadi. So you have two main villains. Sorry. So you have two villains coming at you. Both pretty fun. Alright. Now we're going to switch over to... We're still in the triumphant era. Those three games, the note is the Sacred Realm remains protected, so Ganondorf never gets it and opens it and makes it his own. Now we're going to Ganondorf is sealed, and what we have for the first one, it's the Era of the Great Sea, which is Wind Waker, where Ganondorf is resurrected. Like I said, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Play it if you haven't. If you base it upon every other Zelda game, it might not compare. But if you let it be as its own and you play it, then you have your own thoughts about it, that's a better thing to do. Because if you basically try and compare it up to Ocarina of Time, it's not going to have any comparison whatsoever. But if you let the game stand on its own, really play it, focus on it, explore it, love it, make love to it if you want, I don't know. That's what you want to do. You gotta really give it a chance. You'll like it. Next is Phantom Hourglass. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the DS games. I'm gonna cut it off there, I don't care. After a new continent is discovered and a new Hyrule King is founded, we go to Spirit Tracks. Once again, not a big fan of the DS games, but that's enough of that. So that is all the games from Skyward Sword below, because it doesn't have the one other one. So that is basically all I'm going to really talk about, because the next pages it actually goes more into depth. There's an interesting side note in this game on page like 92 or something. Yep. Basically, it actually describes the game and whatnot, all the games that are in the timeline, and it gives you it really gives you a better understanding of like the decline of the hero. Basically, he's dead, or he's about to die, and Ganondorf has the complete Triforce: power, wisdom, and courage. He's got them all. And so basically he controls the Sacred Realm, and then it goes from there. So basically, really got to read it to understand it. It's fun. But yeah, definitely would highly pick this. Would suggest this for anybody that's a Zelda fan. All right. That's all I can say. Is if you're a fan, or even if you like Nintendo, read it. All right. And Happy New Year's, everybody. Have fun. Be safe. Don't do anything I want to do. Have fun.